Hello, Swellheads. It's Greg House from Green Greg's. Guys, we've got some weather news coming. They're claiming that the weather systems coming at us are going to be more intense than the last storms. The last series of polar vortex is moving south. And furthermore, they're saying this could break records from Montana all the way across the East Coast, guys. So buckle up. It's coming once again through the same areas it hit before, and it's hitting harder this time around. So and the tensions around the around the world for war are definitely going up. It is not de-escalating anywhere. It's getting more bleak every day. In fact, some people just don't recognize this as a world war yet. But when you look at all the players involved, you just take different pieces of it. And look, there's players involved in each piece from around the world, and there's other hot spots that are on the verge of just flaming up in addition to the two primary hot spots today, which are Ukraine and the Mideast with Israel, the Houthis, and all that. So if you look into the Ukraine, who's supplying Russia? Well, we've got Iran. We've got North Korea. They're involved in this in a way. And then when it comes to Russia, they're supplying Russia. When it comes to Ukraine, who's supplying Ukraine? It's most of the Western countries, principally the United States has been, but that may come to an end. So there's a lot of players. Then you look in the Mideast, well, it started between Hamas and Israel. It's got the Houthis involved now. Proxies from Iran have conducted way over 200 attacks on U.S. military personnel. Not of great consequence, but there have been injuries, and I think we've lost a couple of soldiers to this activities. And then we've got the Houthi firing missiles at all kind of international shipping through the Red Sea and beyond. They are still escalating that, and we've got several nations now involved in trying to stop these missiles and are right now on the verge, perhaps, or at least they're discussing, hitting the Houthi bases. So, guys, this is several nations from around the world involved, and these two primary hot spots right there already. On top of that, we got North Korea on the verge. We got the Philippines and China and Taiwan. We got the election in Taiwan coming up in 3 days. What's that going to mean, guys? That could be monumental, what comes of this election, one way or another. And then you got little bitty sub-hot spots in South America. We've got warfare going on inside of Africa. So who is untouched from all this stuff? Is it global or is it not? Right now for us, it's a low intensity proxy engagement. But with all the sleeper cells coming into America, if we get involved, just how long is that going to be low intensity? And when's it coming home to roost right here with all the sleeper cells? That is the biggest concern I have. It's the sleeper cells here. All right, guys. So that by far is my biggest concern. And then we got the powers that be that apparently want to play us against each other. It seems as if they will love nothing better than a civil war. Well, I did a video last night saying, or the early wee hours this morning, saying don't be played. And that video went into a lot more time discussing these things. So I didn't really get to a lot of the other news. So I'm able to come on here earlier today because I already had a lot of this stuff set up. And that'll give me the advantage toward the end of this video. I'm going to open a present sent to me by Sassafras Red because he usually can't come in so late. So I hope he can watch this today. If not, maybe he'll catch it in the morning. So with that, I am going to refresh this screen here so I can keep up with the chat room far more appropriately. And we're going to go in and rock through this news. There's a lot of stuff happening for us to talk about, for us to cover. And so that's what we're going to do. Give me a minute and we'll see who's in the chat room here. Let me just scroll here and click on the screen. And we're going to hit the news, and then we will talk about some of these things. As you may know, my first choice is to actually go through the news itself, to go through all the news before I get too deeply engaged in the chat. But I will monitor for things like super chats and so forth. So hopefully coming in earlier, we'll get a little broader participation, more participation than we usually do when I come in so late. Sleepers and direct attacks on infrastructure coupled with regions that are not accustomed to self-governance, disaster, and compounded, said Jason Avers of Green Country Agroforestry. All right, Alaska for me. Hey, that's a good to see you in the house there. Quite a few folks here. Desert Rose, good to see you. All right, guys. So hopefully we'll get a little better participation. That I got started earlier than normal, like 3 hours earlier. Well, 2 hours. No, it's more like 3 than what I've been doing. Okay, guys, let's get with it here. I'm going to do a share screen, bing, 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 and straight into the news. All right, guys, here we are. Houthis show no sign of backing down intense conflicts in Red Sea standoff. You know, they're talking about them hitting like 25 ships or something like that. This was like from last weekend. This is a couple days old. Some of the stuff I haven't been able to get to. You know what? I should close these as I do them because I got so many windows open here. I need to get rid of a few. Houthis increasing in Red Sea, their attacks, despite Washington's repeated warnings of consequences. Well, maybe they don't take our warning seriously because we've been out there posturing, sailing our ships around, beating our chest for a couple of months. Or maybe they are just such ferocious little honey badgers, they don't care. Which is it? I don't know, guys, but whatever the case is, they are kicking them up. Good to see you too, Desert Rose. So, guys, this is where we stand to escalate this quite a bit. This is one of these articles you got to subscribe to. Bye-bye. Houthis launch complex attack. Now, I like this G Captain website. It's a pretty good website to tell you what's going on in the maritime world. Anyway, U.S. Central Command confirming that the largest attack on Red Sea shipping had occurred as a very complex attack here. And this is like 50 nautical miles west of Al Hudaydah, Yemen. This article was from the 9th, so this is about a day old here. But they said on 9 January, approximately 9:15 p.m. So it was yesterday evening, I guess local time there. Iranian-backed Houthis launched a complex attack of Iranian-designed one-way attack UAVs. They had anti-ship cruise missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles. So it was a multi-pronged attack, guys. Of course, the USS Eisenhower and quite a few other things were involved in defense here. So needless to say, you know, that stuff mostly got shot down. But what are we shooting it down with? So here's the big question. What I brought out to you guys and mentioned last night was that we've got about 3 to 10 days worth of ammo to fight in a war against China. And we're over here spending it in this endeavor. So that puts us in a precarious situation. So I'll say China really likes it that we're over here engaged with these activities. So maybe maybe it's not just Iran sponsoring this stuff, because in some ways you could see Iran as a proxy for China. Houthis may be proxies for Iran, but the Iranian regime has been propped up by a lot of money, a big loan from the Chinese Communist Party. And a lot of the people in Iran weren't fond of that because they needed to put them subservient to China in many ways. So how much of this is there to satisfy China? You got to really ask that. So you got to wonder, you know, it certainly serves their purposes as well as anybody else's, maybe Iran's too. But we are exhausting our precious ammo over here. You know, a couple $1 million missiles shooting down $1,000 drones. So, Conad, how you doing? All right, so here we go, guys. U.S. shoots down 24 Houthi drones and missiles in biggest attack so far. That's the same attack, guys. 24. So we shot down, you know, we used, you know, probably $50 million worth of missiles at the least in this attack. That's pretty substantial. Quite a few missiles. And we keep doing this every day. China is happy, one might say. There we go, guys. So let's just kind of rock through these. I'm not here to really read these articles to you. That's something I don't agree with doing. But I may read excerpts from them. That's considered fair use. So I don't want to take a copyright hit, if you know what I mean. And it's not my intention to do that either, because I'm here to give you my spin on what they're trying to tell you. So through my eyes, as I see these things from my many years of studying what's going on in the world. Yemen's Houthis launched their largest attack. So this is the same thing coming from another source. So it's just telling us the same stuff sliced a different way. The attack by the Iranian-backed Houthis came despite planned United Nations Security Council vote. And you think they really give a hoot about the United Nations? The United Nations says, behave yourself. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, is that going to work? What's this doing? It's really disrupting supply chains of all types around the world. This one particular article here is from Road. See, this is a bicycle type website. They're talking about how it's hitting bicycles, the bicycle industry. Well, you can bet it if these supply chains are causing a supply chain crisis. Well, if you got a supply chain crisis for bicycles, it's across the board for all other industries, pretty much, or a lot of them. Why? Because shipping times are getting a lot longer. Stuff's got to go around the Cape of Hope down in, south of Africa, down there around South Africa itself. And the shipping cost is going up considerably, which is driving the cost of items up. Container ship rates surge amid unrest in the Red Sea. Anyway, the rates surge. That means the prices are going up. And that's going to be the prices for all the little sprockets that go in your gears on your bicycle and everything else we get. And that's why shortages may be heading our way in many areas. You got to remember, even all our factories run on a lot of common components that will have to go through these kind of supply areas. So this is a good reason to consider your prepping, guys, the wars that are facing us right now and everything else. Right now, if you go to prepwithgreg.com, prepwithgreg.com, you get $200 off a 3-month supply of food. That's 6 of these buckets. Each one of them is 2 weeks. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Pile it to the rafters, and you'll be a winner. You can stack these up. You don't need shelves. You don't need special equipment in places. You can stack them anywhere. They stack real nicely. In fact, I've got to stack them that I put pictures on this furniture. So, and you can bug out with them real easy. And these buckets are very useful after you get done with them, especially if you're in a dugout and you need a honey bucket or any other kind of bucket. So there you go. Yeah, make it all in America. I agree. Hey, Cowgirl in Arizona, good to see you in the house. All right, so let's move on here. And this is one of the things that's really, really fanning it, because there was a funeral for a top-level Hezbollah commander that was taken out. And what happens? When Israel hit the funeral, of course, you hit the funeral for a top-level commander, you're going to take out some other top-level commanders. And that's what happened. Basically, they got a top-level commander at a funeral of another top-level commander, and this one is Ali Hussein Barji. So, and this has got the Hezbollah just fuming and claiming more retaliation. So all this tit for tat is part of your normal feud stuff, and it all just escalates. This is the kinds of things that makes each side want to hit the other and make the other one hit them harder. And that's why this whole thing is just escalating, and it may pull us in. Although I made the case last night that just because of this, it doesn't mean that the United States needs to get involved. In fact, Israel can probably handle this on their own, although some people are disputing that. Within the Biden administration, they think Israel's got chewed off more than they can chew. I showed you some articles where I talked about the notion that even though they've not quelled Hamas, and they'd have to go into the southern Gaza Strip and pound it really hard to do that, but that's really going to be hard for them, and it's going to evoke a lot of condemnation, which is what Hamas really wants. So how they win at a war like that, but they've got them somewhat contained. So maybe they're a little bit freer hand to strike at Hezbollah, and some things Hezbollah really don't want a full-fledged war as yet. And so maybe if it's contained at the border, it might still be contained, and Israel might be able to handle it. Well, when I was a kid, my brothers used to always tell me that mites grew on chickens. So be careful with your mites. That's a lot of mites I just threw out there. So this can get really interesting really fast, but there's no real need for the U.S. to be in the middle of it. U.S. went over supposedly warships to deter Iran and other big nation state players from getting directly involved. Yeah, but we are getting involved, and we're having our forces in the Mid East hit. I've often asked, why are we still in Iraq? Why are we in Syria at all? We shouldn't even be in Syria, in my humble opinion. Now, Iraq actually has privately asked the U.S. to stay there, just like today or yesterday. I don't think I got that article open, even despite you see all these tabs. I got a zillion articles open there, but no, I've read more than that. And I'm not opening every article that I read to tell you about it. But they say that privately because they know it's not going to be popular with their people, because the United States is not popular with the government, a lot of the governments in the Arab world. It's also true that actually Saudi Arabia is still trying to negotiate a peace deal with Israel, that they seem to really want it. Because their ultimate enemy is still Iran, and the Iran, part of the goal of Iran and this whole thing was to drive that wedge in there so the Saudis and the Israelis will not come together. Well, that may be still happening. That may be considered good news by some, although Saudi Arabia is still going with the BRICS and chunking the dollar as a petrol money, which is the petrodollar is what's enabled our dollar to be the world reserve currency and gave a lot of power to the United States. So thanks to the current administration, we're not in good standing there. Not to say that the Saudi Arabia is a paradigm of anything particularly good. They've got a lot of problems there that would cause us Americans to have a serious case of the heebie-jeebies, to put it mildly. And that's exactly what I'm doing, putting it mildly. But, there's a shortage of innocence all around the world in these governments. Matter of fact, there's very little innocence in any of the governments around the world. Jason Neighbors will attest to that, I'm sure. In all likelihood, Muslim nations will be much happier settling with Israel if the U.S. is not at the table. Well, that may be true, because many of them hate us more than they hate Israel. So Israel's hitting in a wider war in the Middle East. Of course, as I said earlier, this is the second of article I've shown y'all from different sources. The claimant administration does not believe that Israel could win that wider war. So I'll bring you that again because it just keeps popping up for some strange, nefarious reason. But I think this article probably weighs in. This is Israel's facing a no-win situation. Well, yeah, this article is alluding to the fact that to win, Israel's got to really be brutal with Hamas in South Gaza, and that's where everybody fled to, and that would cause major worldwide repercussions for them. Michelle Young, salute to you. Here's a little something for you to get a large cup of coffee. Michelle Young, man, girl, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Anyway, so let's move on here with that. Hey, we got Brandy in the house. What's sad? What is sad? I hear somebody saying something that's sad. Brandy. Anyway, I will be paying a little bit more attention to the news here at the chat room when I get through the news. We got a few articles. Believe it or not, I think we can get through most of this stuff fairly fast. But I got a zillion of tabs open here. There we go, guys. So hitting a mosque like that is going to cause worldwide condemnation. It's going to inflame the Muslim world against Israel even more so. So it's going to cause a lot of problems. There's no real win here. It's ugly, but that's why Hamas attacked the way they did, because they wanted to be hit. They wanted to evoke condemnation against Israel enough to inflame the Muslim world to rise up and destroy Israel. That was the goal of the entire operation. The goal was to hit somebody so they would hit you back really hard, hard enough to make the whole world mad at them. That was the goal of Hamas. So how do you win in a war like that when when the enemy wants you to take them out? That's a tough situation, guys. Whether you agree with it or not, it's still a tough situation. So I'm trying not to take sides here, but I'm just telling you that's a tough one to crack. Ecuador drug. Yeah, we got all kind of drug cartels coming across the border, Doc Holiday. So, in fact, I think I got a tab or two open on that. Photo proves Hamas is using North Korea-style weapons against Israel. What I tell you guys, the whole world is getting involved in this in one way or another. People are supplying various groups in this from around the world. The world is involved. The world is there. Maybe by proxy, but the world is already involved. That's why this is still pretty much a low-intensity world war, except it's not low intensity in Gaza. And it's not low intensity in Ukraine. But pretty much everywhere else it is so far. How long will that last? And here's the article claiming what I said earlier. Israel can go after Hezbollah without U.S. military participation. I agree with that. All right, so the U.S. actually struck at one of these bases in Iraq. Now, Iraq had come out basically and said, you can't do this. You can't hit them. You can't fire back. If you do, we're going to run you out. But apparently that was a lot of bravado and said for the people in the country to kind of get in line with the government, because privately the government's turned around and said, hey, please stay here. Well, how come they ain't stopping and controlling what's going on in their own country? These guys are hitting at American forces. But yeah, the U.S. did strike back and hit one of these trucks carrying missiles and took it out. So that's what happened there. Finally, if you keep hitting at me, don't expect me never to hit back. Sweden issues warning, brace for war. I'm sure some of you guys have been hearing this the last couple of days on some other channels. If you hadn't, well, you got it here. Sweden does believe that the war with Russia is going to expand to NATO. And so they're warning their own people about that. So it says, after 210 years of peace, Sweden's expecting war with Russia. So there you go, guys. Will that happen? Good question. But that war over there has been a real slugfest, like I mentioned many, many times, on both sides. Ukrainian soldiers say they've been having to abandon their vehicles and hike for miles because of Russian exploding drones. So their vehicles are easy to target. Well, that is true. So they've been having to hike outside of them. Well, I remember being in 113s training on Fort Greeley, and when an aircraft would be in proximity, we'd be told to run out of the 113 and hide in the bushes. As the 113 would be a target. The 113 might be good to hold you against infantry fire, as long as it's not a 50 cal, but not against anti-aircraft, not against fire from an aircraft. Oh yeah, we got some weather coming, guys. I see already some comments on that in the chat room. Yeah, we got some ferociously cold weather coming. Thank you, Al Gore. Where are you at? So, not supposed to get this cold again. Putin panicking as Russians could take the streets to protest over a sickened economy. But then here, is he really panicking? That's what you see in the Western media all the time, is this kind of language. But you see, there's the could in here. Could. So this is a hypothetical. It may be true. It may be that as the economy goes down because we're putting more resources in the war, that it could cause political problems for Putin. But his stock had actually gone up within the population in the last few months. Is it starting to turn? I don't know. But that's what the Western media is telling us, true or not. That's what they're putting out there. But Russia is losing a lot of troops. I don't know if it's this many. Russia on course to lose 500,000 troops by the end of 2024. So, what it says is after its forces turn into a low quality, high quantity mass army. Well, that's actually how Russia has won war after war after war, is just throwing a lot of troops at it. So it's just Russia's reverting to their old means of winning wars. It's how they've won over and over and over and over and over. It's a rough way to do it, and it may cause backlash in modern Russia. Will it work this time? What I've told you guys many times, if Russia has the will to continue fighting, and that's enough. If they have the will to continue fighting, and it might be due to blowback and consternation at home, that will could be lost. But if they have the will to continue fighting over the long term, they'll win the war in Ukraine because they have more resources than Ukraine. They have more people to draw from. They have more factories. They have, it's just a bigger economy, a bigger country. Ukraine in a war of attrition cannot possibly hope to win against Russia. Take it from somebody that comes from a region that also fought in a war back in the 1860s, in which we fought a nation called the United States that was bigger in population, industrial capacity, finances, and when I say we, I'm talking about the South, because the South seceded and formed its own nation. But that didn't go well. In fact, the South was winning the first couple of years, as Ukraine's been doing, winning. But over the long term, as you exhaust your troops and start sending kids and old men to battle, you're in trouble, and that's happened in Ukraine already. Take it from the descendant of a country that's been there and done that and ceased to exist as a result. So. There we go. How you doing, Wendy? The South got that spent 2-1 at least, and the North had 4-1 more soldiers. So now one of the interesting statistics in that war, the war between the states, is it took like, I don't know, way more ammo for the Northerners to inflict a casualty upon the Southern than it did for a Southerner upon the Northerners. Of course, that's also in part due to the North had more to spend, more to shoot, more to use, and the South had to be very frugal. You had to make sure your shot was good before you took it because you didn't have too many to put out there. So that may be one of the reasons for some of the efficiencies in battle, but the efficiencies weren't good enough to win the war. I hear people all the time saying, well, the United States has got all these secret technologies. Nobody else can beat us because we'll pull out the secret technology. Well, you know what? Secret technologies, if they're not at scale, are not going to win a war for you, usually. An exception to that was the nuclear technologies we had in World War II, which nobody was prepared for at that time. But so there could be exceptions, but generally, it's got to work at scale. Of course, a nuclear blast offers a lot of skill, does it not? But it's got to work at scale. But part of the thing was Japan thought we had a lot more of them ready, and we didn't immediately. We were able to manufacture some pretty fast after that, and there was thoughts that we would be using a lot of nukes in Japan if they hadn't surrendered, but it wasn't going to be immediate. We used everything we had, and when we hit Nagasaki and Hiroshima, everything we had at that moment. So pretty much. Oh, the secret spaceship. Yeah, exactly, Jason. I hear that from a lot of people. Oh, don't worry. Nobody can beat us. We got all this secret technology. Well, don't bank on it. Don't bank on it. We don't even have enough ammo to really fight a conventional war. So, that's the sad thing about it. Anyway, and, they're having a hard time with logistics and all that over there. Imagine you're fighting in the winter in Ukraine in the snow. Russian soldiers are still in clothes, razors, and backpacks from each other, according to this report. Again, that's a report from the Western side. I should pull up some TASS articles again. I did a lot of that in the past. So we'll look some more TASS and Sputnik, other Russian news sources in the future. YT. Pardon me for not pulling that up. I got so many tabs open right now, I couldn't bear to open up anymore. But, it's pretty much the same story wherever you go. One side claims X and the other side claims Z. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. If Russia beats Ukraine, according to this article, America will have to massively rearm NATO's eastern flank. Not if we pull out. Really? We'll have to? How come Europe isn't covering for this? So this word "have" in here, have to, that phrase, I'm not. I don't have a lot of confidence in that. The have to, it might be a hope for a wish on the part of whoever wrote this article. Now, see, that's another thing. I always tell you guys, just because I bring an article up doesn't mean I agree with it. Sarah White, she's a senior research analyst and editor at the Lexington Institute. What's that mean? She's the lead journalist over there with the Lexington Institute. I don't know. So there's that. I don't necessarily, it might be what happens, but it's not a have to. Now, to honor the treaty with NATO, you expect something in that area, but is it a have to? That's a big question. I don't know. Russia threatens fresh invasion of northern Ukraine to stop bombardment of Belgorod. Russians are pulling people out of Belgorod. They're evacuating citizens from Belgorod because it's been getting hit so hard from Ukraine. So they're considering a different retaliation to compensate for that. It seems like their troops are bogged down pretty much in a lot of places now. But you got to remember the number of troops committed to Ukraine is just a fraction of the forces that Russia actually already has. But then again, Russia needs a lot of those forces filled in other areas because there's other so-called republics within Russia that they want to make sure they don't get restless. You know what I mean? Not everybody wants to be under the Russian rule. That's within what we consider Russia today, especially in the Siberian republics. God, we can have a meeting of the minds. Oh, good, we can. Excuse me. There we go. Jonathan Miller. We don't even know where the Secretary of Defense is. He's AWOL. That's where. Lord. All right. So, oh yeah, guys, I meant before I open this, I meant to say, look, in here in America, you got to pay for flying lessons. If you want to learn how to fly, you got to pay for flying lessons. Well, if you want a free flying lesson, just go to Russia and be openly critical of Vladimir Putin. And the beauty of that is you get free flying lessons. The problem is you probably don't go back to take the second lesson because you fly on the first lesson. But it usually doesn't end with a happy landing. You know what I mean? So this guy did the usual thing. He flew out of a window. Isn't that amazing how many people over there just like to fly out of windows when they get critical of Vladimir Putin? Kind of strange stuff. So that's what happens in a country where the freedom of speech is limited. In countries that tend to be a one-party system, in countries that where the government has too much power, which pretty much is any government, too much power. So not a fan of big government and big power and big government by any shape or standard. All right, so things are heating up in North Korea. North Korea's dear leader, Kim Jong-un, has said he has no intention of avoiding war. I mentioned that to you guys last night. Now, that kind of looks like that's like something out of Star Wars, does it not? Wow. Look at that picture. It looks like something out of Star Wars. Holy walking smoke-a-moly. Yikes. The Empire. Kim Jong-un issues terrifying warning he won't hesitate to annihilate South Korea. Of course, it's if you guys provoke us. Well, but the problem is, what does he consider provocation? And apparently that threshold is pretty low according to the statements they put out. Now, is that all propaganda? It could be, but I wouldn't bank on that either because his sense of his worldview is highly skewed. Because this guy was basically like a rock and roll star as a child actor. Because he was raised up inside the essentially what's a royal family, and they wouldn't admit it, dynastic royal family in North Korea with unlimited power. And, now he's had that power for some time. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolute. And he does have absolute power. And he's went on to call South Korea principal enemy. Principal enemy. There's another picture in that facility there with his armored vehicles. All these men, he's his black trench coat. Of course, the military drills and artillery firing that's going on over there is picking up and creating even more tension. Oh, this is a little bit out of the series of documents that I was I want to bring you. But, oh, shoot. I am not going to deal with that right now. New York Post don't always do this. So that headline, basically, maybe it's best to be hidden. But I got it over here in another article somewhere. Anyway, that was Batwoman, basically, a Wuhan meeting. But nothing else, nothing else. I think I got that over here in another article. But nothing less than Dr. Ouchie. Anyway, that was out of the series. I wanted to show it to you in anyway, out of sequence. China makes preparations for war that the Pentagon says is not inevitable. The Pentagon says, oh, it's not inevitable we're going to have a war with China. This is one evil, evil man. Amen. Amen, Jason. That is one evil, evil man. All right. There's a Rose saying, hello to Michael. Is Hugo Boss made coats for dictators again? I guess only the best for the dictator. Only the best. And where all his people are starving. Wow. He's plump. He's the tubby tyrant. One of these articles called him the tubby tyrant. We just call him Tubby. Anyway. But China is doing all kind of stuff preparing. The Pentagon is in denial. Of course, who's in the head of the Pentagon now? A lot of wokey individuals have been promoted up. Pentagon, oh no, it's not inevitable. So here we got House Armed Services Committee Chairman Mike Rogers, an Alabama Republican, said U.S. military commanders and intelligence officials warned that Chinese forces are getting ready for military action as soon, they say, as 2027. Guys, that may be the answer, but there's a lot of force, there's a lot of pressure to make that this year. Mainly, they would want to strike when we have a weak leader over here. That would be their preference. Before we get the Philippines and Taiwan and China more, and South Korea more armed up, before Japan gets more armed up, they would probably want to hit before these things happen. And also with these elections coming up in Taiwan in 3 days, look out, guys. Of course, China is telling us they'll never compromise over Taiwan. Well, that's not really news. But look at this. China's doing all kind of technology developments right now. Hypervelocity kinetic weapons to use against U.S. tanks. You think they're preparing for war with the United States or not? Maybe the Pentagon top brass can't see it, but just ask them what, and you might see something. Don't, look at what they're doing, not what they're saying. What they're doing is things like this. Evaluate hypervelocity vehicles against tanks. That's what China's up to. And still in American technology. Some of you, this is more of a space topic here. I should bring this up on Galactic, Greg, so I can get a chance to do a video over there. Engines to make most powerful detonation engine for hypersonic flight. Well, the United States just came out with that. And China is developing as fast as we do. So, they probably have a lot of their people involved in our effort that are just reporting back to them every step in the design process we're taking. Now, what's going on with this article? Oh, it's Express, no wonder. Okay, here's what really bugs me. Here's the one that really gets to me here. If I get this stuff in here. Chinese drug companies, not road companies in China, but Chinese drug companies are the ones that are developing the fentanyl. And they are directly, they're all subservient to the Chinese Communist Party. China is directly involved in sending all this fentanyl to Mexico. That's what this article is all about. That China is, Xi Jinping keeps promising, he promised Trump, some years ago that he'd stop it. Now he's promised Biden he'll stop it, but all they do is send more, or like I've told you in the past, if you take these communist word at face value, you're going to be highly disappointed. They do whatever the heck they want to do. They'll promise you the sun, earth, and moon, but don't expect it in the delivery truck the next morning. So this is, let me put this in perspective. If a country come over here and took out 107,000 American citizens in a year, how would America react? Well, in this case, silence. We're talking about almost twice the number of people we lost in the Vietnam War over 12 years, being taken out by this trade, illicit trade, coming across what border? It's so tight, nothing can get through that border. But rather than deal with it at the border, which they don't want to deal with anything at the border, Biden goes begging to China, please stop it. And Xi's okay, and nod his head and give that same smile he always puts out there, his poker smile. In the background, this is what they're doing, guys. This is warfare upon us. Make Ecuador look like amateurs. We got to keep blankets in the hall closet. Oh, yeah, it's going to be getting cold up in Tulsa. Speaking of adding another log, yeah, there you go. You better get some logs for the next few nights, guys. But, that's really a war on America. There's no other way to look at it. So China has already declared they're basically engaged in a full-blown economic war with us by promoting the BRICS currency, trying to take the world off the dollar as a world global reserve currency. Wise I'll say about wood stoves. You guys need wood stoves, say toasty warm. Okay, I agree. China slams U.S. for manipulation as it issues warnings to the White House. China warning the White House, while at the same time, this is over Taiwan. They are actually directly meddling in the election over there and threatening guys if we don't vote for hey, Sassafras Red, yes, I'm early and I'm going to open your package tonight. I'm early tonight because a lot of what I would have covered last night, I just didn't have time to cover it. So I added to it the latest news, and I'm bringing it all to you tonight. And I'm going to open at the end of this video. We're going to see what Sassafras Red sent to me. I got a big box behind me. Been waiting on him to be here, and he is here. Thanks to me coming on earlier. So, guys, China's over there meddling in elections. They're over there meddling with area inside the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. And when the Philippines tries to supply their own people, they accuse them of trespassing, meddling, provocation, which is all a bunch of hooey, but they're also accusing the U.S. of manipulation when they are the manipulators. So why we got to sit back and listen to that? If I was Secretary of State, I'd tell them to go jump in the lake. If I was president, I would say, if you don't go jump in the lake, I got a big foot here. We can help you. All right. But our president goes, well, maybe we need to stop it. We got to be friends. Would you be my friend, Xi Jinping? Let's be friends. Oh, anyway. Just got back from the night walk. Hey, G. Never burn pine. No, it puts too much stuff in your pipes. Creosote stops them up. Anyway, so everybody's talking about Ecuador. Ecuador's got the drug cartels pulling a revolution on the country. Typically a revolution is against the nation don't go well, but in this case, the drug cartels are probably better armed than the government itself, which is also probably true in Mexico. Because in some states, they've taken on the government and prevailed. But that's all in part due to us having open borders in this country. Because who's our customers? Americans. All that stuff from Ecuador is coming through that wide open border. And now the Ecuadorians are reaping a revolution, a civil war in their country with drug cartels leading it. And it's not pretty. It's very ugly. And the people in Mexico likewise suffer at the hands of the drug cartels there. And it's all being fueled by illicit drugs traveling across our open border. But no, we shouldn't close that border. It would be a good thing for the rest of the world if we did. It'd be especially a good thing for us. Bugger dog, what come up with the topic balloons? You might know I am a balloon man and a rocket man. I launch rockets and balloons. Hey, Brian Perendi, good to see you in here. Wise Al, Matterman. All right. So essentially, these armed gunmen even shut up on TV there, broke in a TV station. That was on the first day of their little escapade there. Let's see the article I brought up. I'm gonna have to kill this. I had a certain article I was going to show you guys, but no, it's not coming up. Okay, I gotta be careful. This platform will show video will get me in trouble on here. It's not queued up where I thought it was. All right, we'll get out of the war talk for a little bit. Plastic chemicals cause infertility, diabetes, widespread in common food items. I've talked to you guys in the past about these plastics, about their gender bender qualities, how they're affecting young Americans, especially young American males. There's certain metrics on that I don't even feel comfortable talking about, but they do have physiological effects on babies in the womb. So mama shouldn't be drinking out of plastic water bottles, and don't give that kid a plastic bottle when it comes out of the womb. So this is a real serious problem. It's going to cause all kind of health issues here in the United States and all over the Western world. Everybody's using, biphenyls and phthalates have been shown to be endocrine disruptors. I mean, they can interfere with the generation by regulation of hormones, including those that make you fertile. There's the other article on that topic. I said I had that one out of sequence. I think I had another article on plastics too. They're finding like 250,000 nanoparticles of plastic in just a regular little bottle of water. If you're drinking bottled water out of plastic bottles, stop it. Sometimes I will do it when I'm on the road, just because when I'm on the road, you stop at a service station, it's about all you're getting for water. But it's something to really watch. Moses and Elijah. There you go, NC. So, U.S. scientists held secret talks with Batwoman amid drive to make what more virulent, make it more deadly? What? Just before what event occurred? Guys, you can't make this stuff up. There she is, Batwoman herself. Here's the guy. I named him in a video, one of my videos. It might have been on the Swivelhead News back probably a couple of years ago, over a year ago. I know this Peter Daszak. He's the one that's been running this Global Health Alliance as an NGO and funneling money from the United States government all the way from Fauci's order all the way to Wuhan. So, but Fauci himself was alleged to be in one of these meetings, guys. So here we are. BRICS currency, will it release in 2024? That's what Russia and China want to do. They're really aggressive to take America down for having the world's reserve currency. Will they pull it off? Let's hope they don't, because it's going to cause huge bad effects here. Are plastic water tanks better than plastic water bottle? Yes, Gabby. Let me stop the share here for a moment. Let's talk about this. When you look at the ratio of fluid in something compared to the container it's in. The bigger the container, the higher the ratio of materials in it that's not touching the surface against otherwise. It is steering aside, having internal currents aside. You get a scale, because the container itself is area. It is length times width, basically. But the length or the width might be all the way around as a circumference. But so that's a squared quantity. I'm thinking rockets. I won't say fuel, but fuel tanks. This is true too. The water, the contents, the liquid in the tank goes up by volume, which is cubed. It's 3 axes. It's cubed. So it's got it's got an X, Y, and a Z axis. It's cubed. So the contents within grow in numbers faster than the container they're in. So proportionally, there's less container wall for what's been contained in it as it gets bigger and bigger. As the container gets bigger, you're better off. So just having larger bottles is better than smaller bottles. The bigger the bottle. Or some little accordion flexible bottles, now those are nasty. I believe there are microsoft particles in the water too. Yikes. Yikes, says Fres. So that's just a matter of geometry. And geometry is important to know as one of the key principles of science of being able to discern what's really going on in the world, like inverse square law, which I've talked to you guys about with our radio fields, with RF frequencies, EMF, electromagnetic forces that we talk about sometimes. So the further you go away from something, the field strength drops off rapidly, very rapidly. So, hey, we got Doug in the house. There we go. Hey, Doug, salute you for being here. All right, so yeah, we got some guys with good channels in here. Everybody needs to check out and subscribe to Uncommon News 77 and also Green Country Agroforestry. Subscribe to both, and Hardneck Farms. Wendy's got her own YouTube channel too. Check it out, guys. So, and here's one other thing to bear in mind about bottled water. When they first bottle it, they form those bottles. They form them, they blow gas in them, blow them out, into a mold when they form these bottles. But they pour the water in when the plastic is still really hot, which means it's still exuding chemicals, whatever, all kind of nasty, and they pour the water right in. So it just stirs up. I can taste chemicals. I can taste plastic chemicals in a water bottle. Unscrew the top. The more you taste it, the worse it's going to be, of course. But the best thing is to try to avoid that entirely if you can. But now, if I even can't teach was a kid, used to primarily be aluminum in them, but now they're plastic. They want to make plastic everything. So, yeah, I better start sucking this coffee down a little faster. Go to the moon. I need to get spring water trip. What? Anyway, so I just wanted to share that little lesson in geometry, but also mention processes. The processes in which they put the water in plastic bottles is nasty. They sell that stuff as helpful. I've got some really health conscious buddies who think bottled water is great and wonderful. And I've been warning them for some time. I said, you don't want this stuff. You don't want it. Don't drink so much bottled water. It's terrible for you. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. Well, yeah, it is. And here's another thing. This is all the more reason for you guys to consider growing your own food, brewing your own tea, which I got to get more into that myself, and purifying and sanitizing water yourself. The moon trip has been delayed again. They said due to safety concerns to deal with the heat shield on the Artemis vehicle eroding more in one sector than they had anticipated it would. So they want to understand that. I can bring you space news here too, of course, because I am a rocket guy. But this is my prepper channel, so I don't talk about that as much here. But I need to get on galactic grids and start putting some contact. Glass is non-reactive. Yes, glass. Use glass containers as much as you can. Alrighty, folks. So, oh yeah, I'm not screen sharing. Let me get back down here and share screen again. Ding, 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 ding. Where is my Zoom? There it is. Got so many tabs open. Share screen, bada bing, bang. Oh, well, there we are. There we are. Russia and Iran to end SWIFT. So they're participating in the SWIFT bank, which is a Western bank. You might remember the United States probably kicked all this off because everybody said you should never weaponize the monetary system. If you do, it's going to blow back on you. Well, this all started when Biden embargoed and held Russian money, a lot of Russian money, which was in the SWIFT system. That's when Russia got on board with this BRICS thing big time and started pushing it. So because we did weaponize the money, we stand to lose having the dollar as a world's reserve currency. Thank you, Biden. Anyway, speaking of kimchi, I need to make some more. Oh, I love kimchi. Alrighty, folks. So these are important things to know that what all this means is the dollar in the long term, it's got a lot of pressure to send it down in value, which is inflationary. So keep that in mind because there's other maybe better stores of value for the long term, like maybe gold and silver. And the good thing about, let's see, about this. So for that, I highly encourage you to go to Defy the Grid. If you go to defythegrid.com and use the discount code GreenGregs, you get 1% off what you get here. And they've got this philosophy that if you find a better price somewhere else, they'll meet it or beat it. And that's hard to beat. But so you can see they got silver, gold, platinum, rounds, bullion, coins. But I'm real fond of the gold backs because they're potentially useful. They're a lot more potentially useful because they are actually gold. And when you get them printed out the way they do here in bill form, which they have special processes for that, then you got something you can put in your wallet. And this is 1,000th of troy ounce. It's, I could buy a couple dozen eggs with this thing, or some washing powders, or, something. It's fungible, loaf of bread or two. All right. So enough said. Use the code GreenGregs and get 1% off if you go to defythegrid.com. All right, here's a funny one to me. Mexican president makes demands. He's demanding the U.S. pay $20 billion, give work permits for 100 million Hispanics in exchange for immigration help. He also wants us to make them citizens, and he wants us to end the embargo with Cuba and maybe Venezuela. Just a lot of requirements he's throwing out there. Who's he to make such demands? A strong president of the United States would say, kiss my foot. Let me talk to you. We'll tell you how this is going to be done. But you see what they're trying to do. So, but there's an easier solution to all that. We don't have to give anybody anything. Just close our stinking borders. I bet closing our border would be cheaper than $20 billion. And how much are we going to be laying out in money to maintain these guys here? Since we're giving them every kind of public aid we could possibly toss at them as soon as they get here, including gender reassignment surgery. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All kind of things we can come up with to blow our money. And here it is. California, illegal immigrants eligible for taxpayer-funded. What? I shouldn't repeat this out loud on this platform. There you are, guys. There's where your tax money is going, especially for California. Charity is a great thing. Charity is what you give willingly from your heart. At one time, there was a lot more charity going on because the government wasn't there to dole out money. Government dole days may be coming to an end, especially if we lose the world's reserve currency status. So the government will be a lot less able to do that at such times. So if you're living on the largesse, the government throwing money at you, you might want to be looking for some other way to fund your grocery bill, your light bill. Madam Gross, you bullseye, Madam Gross. You got it exactly right. It's a deliberate. Amen to that. Destruction. Amen. That's right, Doc Holiday. Excuse me, guys. I've been going to bed too late, getting up too early. But, you know, tax dollars, unlike charity, tax dollars are taken you from the force and power of the government, ultimately the barrel of the gun. So when somebody else takes money from you and you're not willing to give it up, and they've got the barrel on their hip, would you call that theft? What would you call it? Charity's given, but this, is it theft? You tell me. I stand good seeing the house. Oh, we got 211 in here now. Biden has issued new labor rules vis-a-vis gig jobs. Basically, they're trying to get rid of gig jobs in America. If this rule had been in force 11 years ago, I never would have opened my worm farm up. What would have happened? I have, over the past, since 2012, for the past dozen years, laid out a good amount of money to salaries for people that I would not have hired under this rule because it would have cost me way too much. I mean, you got to hire an accountant. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to set people up, take out deductions, and a lot of stuff like that. It's a lot of extra expense. This is something that if I weren't already folding up to get out of here, I would tell anybody that's helping me with worms, bye-bye. This takes effect in March. Oklahoma. Hey, Jason. Oklahoma AG says Biden's Department of Homeland Insecurity is instructing the release of who? Illegal alien criminals into the state. You need to write this Inspector General a letter, anybody from Ohio, Oklahoma that's in the house tonight, and thank him for doing that. So anyway, let's move on to another article here. This one's not in sequence with the other one. Yeah, bottled water contains hundreds of thousands of potentially dangerous plastic fiber. Oh, that was nasty. Plastic fragments. I don't even look at that. All right, here's some good news. If you eat some cheese, yogurt, or chocolate every day, apparently you got a lower risk of heart attack. All right, here's one that the medical establishment would not tell you. Surprising study links the good cholesterol with a 42% higher risk of dementia. Now, what kind of bargain is that? You'd be better off fixing transmissions for a side job. Oh, holy smoke. Yes. Amen to that. I've actually done it once. I tore into a valve body one time. It's rather interesting. Not something I really want to do. Could happen again, though. Chocolate covered Velveeta. There you go. Chocolate covered Velveeta. I love it. Yeah, I think I got another article here that kind of hits on this. It said if you eat cheese or dairy products, you actually got lower case of heart risk. I think that's another article I got here somewhere. Where is it? Thought I had that one open. Maybe not. Anyway, so what they tell you and how they tell you to diet, you better question it. Okay, what I tell you last night or wee hours of this morning, same story I've said for years on this channel. Basically, the country's got a split between predominantly urban and predominantly non-urban populations. And that drives actually a huge political, philosophical difference, very significantly. And here we got Chris Matthews saying rural voters, and he calls rural voters crazies, threaten rights of, are we threatening the rights of people? How does that work, guys? They're dividing us, what I've been telling you guys. Of course, our journalists are the worst ones, right? Look at this, though. Oh, we get that again. Yeah, I'm not going to read that loud. I just wanted to show you the headline, but it got blocked. Get this headline. You face 7 years in jail if you won't let your children go to the butcher and get reassigned who they are down below. I'm not going to read that article either. All right, here we are, guys. The weather event is coming. The weather is coming. Next time, the last storm was called what? Finn? Well, this one is Jerry. Sound like a buddy, a friend. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? And Jerry comes back. I'm going to sock you. I'm going to rock you and sock you. Rock 'em, sock 'em robots. You're going to get a cold blast. Another round of snow wind from the west to the Midwest. It's supposed to get really cold here. So they're talking in some areas of the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, 100 inches of snow and 40 degrees below. Wow, guys, they're getting hammered up there. May come down here, but 100 inches of snow, wow. I'm glad it snows in big round numbers. That's all I got to say. It is a big round number, right? When they outlaw farming, farmers will be outlaws. Well, that looks like it's coming. It's crazy what they're trying to pull off. All right, a couple nights ago, we had tornadoes of the road Bill. We had Brandy in the house, or we had her in the house, Brandy Robinson. She's not far from there. Must have had some rough weather. And there's Finn. So we're going. So Finn left 3 people no longer with us, 7,000 flight delays, and 600,000 without electrical power. Here's a polar vortex threat, since it's going to collapse down onto North America and drive a huge wedge of cold air right in the middle of the country. And it ain't going to stop there. It's going to keep going, I would say. Well, the crazy thing is this. Just when you need the electric power the most is when you're going to have it the least. Especially in a world where you're reliant on windmills and photovoltaic cells or solar cells to give you the power you need. Because you got that when the sun's shining and the wind's blowing. Outside of that, you might have an issue. So we got ERCOT making all these promises for power, but what happened a couple of years ago when they got a cold snap? Well, their solar panels were covered with snow and the wind generators' gears were frozen up, And so they weren't putting out the power. They almost lost the power grid. And here they are again looking at another cold front coming and are trying to encourage their users to really cut back on power consumption at the time you need it the most. So that makes it rough. 700,000 stuck in airports. Oh, Nolan, that sounds very bad. Oh, Wazell. AAA trying to make people do things, not AAA. AARP, excuse me, retirement, Socialist Retirement Organization. So there they are. If you're in Texas, don't bank on having power. That's what that's saying. And here's showing how this low's on blast up here. But we got it coming, guys. Well, Jaws is predicting another big earthquake in Turkey. Should not come as a surprise. So let's look at earthquakes. Oh, we just had one. Big one, red. 5.2, South Pacific. There it is. Oh, this thing's not responding good. Let's move on. Space weather. Look at all the sunspots. Well, that don't comport with the idea of a grand social minimum. Yeah, I just want to show you some data about it. I think it's on my buddy's laptop when it passed away. All back. All right, so here we are. Asteroid threat. Nothing major coming anytime soon. A lot of sunspots. The auroras are fairly strong. Fort Greely, Alaska, you'd see it. Maybe Arnold can see it up in Alberta. All right, let's move on here. Let's go to windy. Guys, I'm losing steam. I don't know how much longer I can keep running this. Yeah. Lots of snow. These storms are finally pushed off the East Coast. You're still getting a little bit of that up in your neck of the woods there. New days. Focus in, but you're above freezing. It's probably amazing for you. Holton is 37. We'll go up to Alaska and come down. Then we'll step this thing forward. Minus 17 in Fairbanks. Minus 29 in Dawson City. Okay, that's getting a little bit more like what I'm used to seeing up in there. God, what's the squares I'm seeing on here? Yeah, it's not giving me what I want. Wendy's done something funky. Let's hit the refresh button. Delta Junction, minus 6. That's what I was wanting to find out. Fairbanks is colder at minus 11. I hit Montana already. No, all right, that's British Columbia. British Columbia. Here's Alberta. Minus 31 at Fox Lake. That's 28 at Buffalo Head Prairie. Anyway, excuse me, guys. Let's yeah, I'm rather exhausted. Sorry, guys. The locals here in the 60s got them ton keep for the elderly parents. Oh, well, that sounds good. Let's kind of step through here, see what's coming. Let's do it stepwise. I want to roll it here a little bit. Watch the snow move from Denver down into Arizona, Albuquerque. Storms coming back to the southeast. Cross, probably more tornadoes. A lot of rain of Northern California. So Northern California is getting drenched Saturday. Salt Lake City getting a lot of snow Sunday. Granny, getting a lot of snow. Oh, let's see. We got some in Oklahoma Monday. Monday's supposed to be really cold here. Then we got a whole lot of snow all the way across from northeast Texas, Shreveport, up through Arkansas, and up into West Virginia. More coming into Oklahoma. Fan of snow. Wow, a lot of snow down the southeast right there. Tuesday. Refresh button. Get all that stuff off the screen. Up. Let's see. Back to Wednesday here. I'll take this thing ahead a little bit. Sunday. Arkansas is going to get it. A lot of snow there in South Missouri. Nashville, Memphis. Where I'm at. Right here. All on the 17th. That's a week from now. See what this weather's doing. Yeah, snow. Oh, more snow coming in. This is Thursday, the 18th. And some of that's coming down close to me. There we go. It hits Friday morning here. All right. I've seen crazy temperatures on that. We got it back from down under in the house tonight. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's put this sleep. Always gonna get a bunch of snow. Oh, in England. My hits in temperatures. The islands will be a little warmer. Go down here in the summertime, Laurel. India looks like a saltine cracker with whole specks on it. Winter weather over here. Western China. Yeah, I was looking for something in China. I'm not seeing it. Let's go down under. Hot down here. Summertime. 102 in Alice Springs. Melbourne 71. Not too bad there. Canberra, the capital's going to be 80. Sydney 79. Perth 89. Oh, here. 107 over here. What's it take to fry an egg when it's 107 if you got a piece of tin to lay it on? Let the sun do the work for you. So if you're not checked out the Freedom Restoration Foundation, what are you waiting on? Go for it. Check it out. You got the Action Center page. Scroll to the bottom. It tells you how to contact your Congress critters. It gives you the phone numbers you need to use. All right, let's keep rocking here. Maybe the last article I'm going to show here, I think. Yeah, this is it. SurvivalTribeNetwork.com. This was set up by Wazal out of her pocket, guys. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? Good to see you. You need to come here and join us. Get busy. It don't cost you anything. Get busy setting up your survival tribe. All right, I'm going to stop the share. Oops, not that. Stop the share. Halo. There we go, folks. So, it's package time. We're still in the house. Sassafras red. Yeah, it's already almost midnight. We still hear sassafras red? It's come from sassafras red. Anybody, did sassafras red say good night? Anybody see him say good night? Where's my pocket back? I keep in this pocket. I guess I get out for something here, but I know I got one of my other pockets. Well, you know what? Instead of a pocket knife, let's use something far cooler. Like, there he is. A gift sent to me by none less than Rodney Middleton. This is the kind of stuff Rodney makes. So we're going to use a gift to open a gift. That's pretty formal, right? Isn't that beautiful? Rodney does beautiful work, guys. And I got a couple more he sent me to use to help out with the channel, which I will probably use in some kind of contest with you guys. So, beautiful knife. Careful here. Open this. Keep it sharp. Tape in here. There we go. I ship worms in boxes just like this. Oh, I should have put a, oh, I got to put a code in for some worms and shipped. Is that a card? Maybe a card. Hey, Sassafras, is this a card or just the address? The address label. Okay, very good. The better check first. Oops. I'm just cutting the tape. I'm not cutting down into the box. All right, we're about to see what we got here. Yeah, Is the box open? Yeah, a letter here. Nice letter. Wow. My dear friend, Merry Christmas. I hope this care package finds you well. I put tinctures in the bag of how do you pronounce it? Elecampane, I don't know, root in it. All the tinctures are for respiratory health. You had a whole lot of concern there for a minute. I made the tinctures from our plants or from sources from people I know. How do you pronounce that? The elecampane root, dried, takes a long, slow simmer, a good general lung tonic. The apples and tomatoes are from our friend's orchard and our garden, respectfully. Oh, sweet. I know that coffee is a need for you and easier to boil water and pour. There you go. You can always use a backup light. Greg, you and this tribe have revitalized my faith in the greater creator. Awesome. As I call it, the master gardener. The gardener in the sky. There you go. The first prayer session during 2020 spoke to my heart. It made me feel the connection to not only the love of the people, but the love of the divine. I am eternally grateful for that. You are by far my favorite hillbilly. Ha 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 ha. Hello. You make me see that we have more in common with each other than we have differences. Amen. And see, this is where we got to get this out to other people that are also divided with the plans against each other. Very good. I only wish I could help with the bill. Be safe, be joyful, be aware, and never scared. There you go. From my heart to yours, Merry Christmas, Sassafras Red. You want me to say your name? Maybe I don't want to say your name unless you tell me to. Anyway, very, very good. Awesome, 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 awesome. Well, let's see what's in here. I got some inkling now from what I was reading. We got some wrapping, stuffing stuff here. It's bags. If I was at the farmer's market, these would be good bags maybe to put some micro stuff in. Wow, what a lot of stuff in here. A lot of it. Wow, look at this. A headlight. Whoa, that's fancy. What? Oh, goes this way. Oh, it's one of those kind. Wow, it's got that on the back. I thought that was the light. Woo. Oh, this is a fancy one, guys. Wow. Holy guac and smoke 'em holy. I thought the light was over here. I thought that was the strap. Awesome. How you turn it? Oh, it's got different buttons for different things. Whoa! Ho, 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 ho. We're back in the beer lot business, guys. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that's a good one. Holy guac and smoke 'em moly. Thank you, Sassafras. The beer lot is back. All right. All right, here's that root for tea. Ground up. I can bring me some tea. The beer lot. Exactly. Isn't that awesome? That's the most fun gift I got all year. That's fun stuff. That's an awesome light. So that looks kind of Star Trek-y. I can be a Star Trek hillbilly now. Barberry RT, barberry root. Now what I use the barberry root for? All right, we got wow, there's all kind of stuff in here. Oh, what's that? Man, this is a big goodie box. This took some doing. Holy guacamole, smoke-a-mole. I'm about to get the Rodney knife back out just to. Can I push it to the bottom? I'll be careful here. Cut some of the stuff loose. I don't overdo it. Ah, well, he's already got some campaign root tincture made up here. Oh, have quite a little medical chest here. And we got another little tincture here. It's got rosemary. No, it's Lomantium dissectium biscuit root. Okay, I can pronounce that. Lung support. Biscuit root. Lung support. Any old hillbilly can say biscuit root. I can handle that. Oh, wow, just all kind of stuff in here. Look at this, guys. Ginger tincture. Wow. Ginger tincture. Got a whole medicine cabinet now. And more. Another tincture. Wow. I can smell it too. It smells good. All this stuff smells good. All right, give me a minute. Get this stuff unwrapped here. Sits in the house. Porterhound True High Sop. Oh, yeah, nice. Ants High Sop. Wet cough and congestion. Look at that. Would you look at it? Rex Bear used to say, right? Would you look at it? Oh, there's that light. We definitely going to end with a beer light tonight, guys. Oh, with a big bottle in. What the? Huge bottle here. Look at this thing. Cafe. All right, let me open this up. Oh, I don't have to boil this, huh? Oh, we got bubble wrap to play with, too. Don't forget the bubble wrap, guys. They got bubble wrap. Cafe Bustelo Espresso instant coffee. Wow. I'm about to go heat me up some water and try this out tonight. Espresso instant coffee. Now, that's interesting. I've never had espresso instant coffee. I have to break the seal and see if I can smell it. Again, with the Rodney Middleton kitchen. Ooh, that thing's sharp. Just cuts this stuff so quick. That's got a powerful aroma to it. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got here. Ah, tons of stuff here. And more bubble wrap. We have all kind of fun with all this bubble wrap. And we got, what's this? We got a little lanyard in. Oh, that's sweet. That's for charging stuff. It always when you it's got a C micro and a regular C for charging things, probably to be used for this light here. Oh yeah, so I can recharge it. I suppose it's got a charging port on here somewhere. I have to explore it to look for that. Oh, charging port. I'm sure it's here somewhere. And there's two more items in here. Believe it or not, two more. Oh, there's the apples. Yum, yum. Dried apples. Oh, and dried tomato. Oh, I love dried tomatoes. Oh my gosh, I used to do dry tomatoes. These are like dried tomato chips. Those are great to eat. They're fun to eat, but you don't eat too many of them because if you drink water, they swell back up. Oh my gosh, those kind of things are very flavorful. I love dried tomatoes, dried apples. Wow, that was awesome. So would you look at it, guys? Don't you look at this apothecary I got now? All that stuff, guys. Look at all that. Total apothecary. Well, if it's not without, I'm gonna have to put all that stuff over here in my little medicine box. But it's not without the toy, Christmas toy. Whoa, that drop. Yeah, I don't want to lose that. Let me put this back in the box so I find the appropriate way to store this thing. Got to find the place I insert this to charge it. Sure, I'll figure that out. That's amazing. It's flexible. See that guy? It's flexible. It puts out a ton of light. Oh, that's probably it right there. Yeah, I found the charger for it. Ta-da! Found the charge port. All I do is look at the little thing with the battery icon. It's the charging port. The other is the push button that will light up. Ho, 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 ho. Y'all been begging me for the beard light for a while. I didn't have a good light that flashed right. But holy walking smoke moly, guys. I feel like what was his name? Geordi on Star Trek. Light band. Wow. High tech. I'm definitely a high tech redneck now. Wow. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, Sassafras Red, you really surprised me tonight. That is awesome stuff. Now, of course, I used another gift to open a gift. There's nothing more appropriate than that. And for those that don't know, I got a couple more of those from Rodney here that somehow I'm going to share with you guys. Just got to find the appropriate, fair way to do it. I've been thinking about creating channel memberships. That's another possible venue. We might link it to super chats. However I do it, I gotta have a way to get your address if I'm gonna send these out. So actually, I think that's one of the ones for, let's see. We got these two here. They're all these nice leather scabbards. Rodney Middleton. Actually, I think this is the first one he sent me. All right, guys. Well, that woke me up good. I was having some problems here. That woke me up good. There's a season for sharing. Sharing is caring. Salute, Sassafras Red. Hey, we got Daniel Twit in the house. How you doing? Yeah, that's quite a gift package here. So, Sassafras Red, that was really nice. I was worried he was out there in the cold too. Yeah, got kind of rough on me there on one occasion. I got sick out there. So yeah, this will be an awesome light to wear. Wow, this thing's bright. I got to run outside a little bit and test it out. All right, folks. Hey, you know what? I got a lot of love from you. Techno Greg. Hey, X Dragon. Got to do some techno music. We need a seizure warning on this video. Uh-oh, Ace Lee. You laugh a lot. Those are fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's see here. Thank you, Ashton, with a thumbs up. For reasons unknown to me, barberry became a popular landscaping shrub. Holly is sold for a lot of that too. I care a lot for Greg, and I was worried about him. Well, that shows. I appreciate it. Barberry is readily available. People grow it in their yards. Okay. Sassafras Ray, great package. Well done, says, yeah, Rodney. New Day's great gift. Granny, I believe. Ho, ho, ho. Dried tomatoes are terrific. Oh, I love dried tomatoes. Cuban coffee sounds good when it's cold. Yeah, absolutely. You can soak ginger in honey, allow it to sit for a couple of weeks, drain the honey from the ginger, then dehydrate the ginger. It lasts a long time and tastes good. Oh, okay. Interesting. Just let it soak the honey up. I take ashwagandha with my HPB. Works great, says Desert Rose. The eyes say it all. Hey, Gabby. There's a birdie to, oh, CommieTube, YouTube. Hey, Randy Randy Newman. Get you some gravy root, Togo. Okay, to go. Oops. Lomentium is for the lungs. Had us worried. I use powdered barberry and sniff it up my nose to get rid of sinus infections. Okay. Joe Davis, that box had my attention. Great box. Yeah, I gave a warning over a couple of videos I was going to open that, but I was so late. I knew you weren't likely to be in here. I know you come in when I come in earlier. Barberry is like golden seal. Berberine. Oh, okay. I know what berberine does. Antiviral. You know, when I was a kid, we had yellow root growing on the creek on the farm, just huge patches of yellow root. And I used to pull those yellow roots out and fill these big brown grocery bags. And I'd sell a bag full of that stuff for $5. I thought I was making money. Can you imagine now just a couple of roots would be $5. I think that patch died out. I'll have to go back there and check it out. But I had no idea where the leak is. Now, what leak is that? Add some tranny fluid. Loudy. Few days. I caught your vid before I lost power. Oh, you know, like he's talking about the video. I don't have lamb's quarters anywhere here. Wow, lamb's quarters grow all around here. I did a video on lamb's quarters. And I start celebrating Christmas too. Well, you know, this is kind of like Orthodox Christmas. You know, Orthodox Christmas is generally around the 6th of January. So that works. Always use bags. Okay. Adams of Alabama. How you doing? Nice gifts. I really appreciate that. In country. aka Turkish rocket. It's a perennial brassica with florets akin to broccoli. Okay. Broccoli, ravi, and leaves like mustard, spreads from roots easily and seeds. So Jason is really brilliant on the herbs and plants. The video I'm watching is delayed. I was just seeing the beard light over there, so it got me laughing again. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Yeah, you got me tickled now. Well, thank you, Wise Al, New Days, for sharing those links. All right, so hopefully some of the chat now. Raised in Utah. Let's see. The chat's already gone. I can only scroll back to Arnold saying, "See you, Doug." I guess Doug left us early. Yeah, we're kind of late here for some people already. Jesse, well, all our lambs quarters are gone. Happens when the guy took his herd out. Oh, comes from the seeds and the cow manure from the. Yeah, that's one way to spread a lot of seeds. All right, Brian, the unknown knowns. Good morning, folks. Truly Market, thanks for sharing that. What was that popped up on the screen? Ezra, got to head out and get some sleep. That's a good idea. I love you, Greg, and mods, plus awesome chat. Love you too, Desert Rose. Desert Rose is a real sweetheart, people. She really is. I met her at LeetCon. Anyway, guys. Let's see. Rodney, good morning. Keith in Arizona. Foot of snow on the ground. Wow. There's 0 morning temps. Wow. Let's see here. Yeah, we're about to go. We're about to go. We're going to go early tonight. Let's see. I'm going to check. At one time, last night, they were showing the temperature here Monday night was going to reach 5 degrees. And then later they said 4. Then went back to 5. Now I think it's up a little bit from Monday night, but Tuesday night's going to be kind of chilly here. Let's see what they're saying now. The forecast changes all the time. Lord only knows what it's going to be when it actually gets here. So I'm going to check my local forecast by my phone. Pagan Prepper says, much love. Just remember your Bill of Rights for Constitution and practice them. Amen to that. Check out freedomrestorationfoundation.org. That's a good place. Ooh. So Tuesday, all right, Monday night is 12 now. Tuesday night is 9. 9. And a little chance of snow Sunday night, but it's only 10%. Usually every time it gets cold, all the moisture is already blown through and it gets cold after the moisture blows through. So getting snow here is, not that typical. So it's probably a slim chance of snow this time. If any moisture comes in behind this, it might be snow. Wow. So we're going to be below freezing Sunday night, Monday, all day Monday and all day Tuesday. Don't know about Wednesday yet. Typically, sometimes we would get 2 or 3 occasions during the winter where it stay below freezing for 3 days in a good winter. And apparently we're having a good winter now in terms of being a cold winter for Alabama, at least anyway. So it's 35 degrees outside here now. Snowflake is 33. Let's pull that up. Snowflake's getting to 12 degrees Monday night, but not to 9. So it's going to be colder here than Snowflake, which is really rare. Happens sometimes. Anyway, had a friend from just a little southeast of Show Low told me it got 4.5 degrees there. Night before last, maybe. DJ, he watches the videos here. I have a ton of manure to move tomorrow before the weather. Yeah, everybody get your pipes ready. Check your antifreeze. If you need kerosene or anything, heating oil, get it now. Get it while the getting's good. Get backup lights, kerosene for kerosene lamps. See, that's a kerosene lamp right behind me there. Use candles, be careful. They're easy to knock over and start a fire with, but that's a backup for no power. I do have a number of candles. So for tonight, everybody tell us where you're from. Just kind of roll in here, tell us where you're from, because we're a little earlier than normal. We got a little bit different set of people than we get in here sometimes for live chats. We got 112 in the room. We had one. Super chats will stay at the top for a little while, then they will expire. The bigger super chats stay posted longer for some reason. Basically, keep the faucet dripping. Oh, yeah. Well, I had Area 51. That's what Jason always says. Bella Vista, Arkansas, from Michelle Young. Texas, from Pagan Prepper. What part of Texas? Peter M. Rezovic, Illinois. Regovic. Yeah, I used to know Rezovic. Yeah, Regovic. Arnold, nothing beats a good wood stove. You got that right. Boogertown, Tennessee, Matamoros. Historic Guthrie, Oklahoma. All right, Wendy. Daniel Twitts, Southern California. Australia, Rodney. Down under says Gabby B. Oh, you're from down there too. Kathy Pittman, Alabama. What part of Alabama, Kathy? How close are you? Nightman's wife. Trenton, Florida. 37. 37. Wow. Alabama. Well, Adams of Alabama, I guess you would be from Alabama. Near Clear Lake, or near Lake City, Florida. Extract, you're near Lake City? For a while, I thought I was heading toward Lake City. How about that? Chris Smith, South Arkansas. What to do in an emergency? Paul Bagel, what did that say? Paul Bagel's government man Mike said years ago to expect use of wide storms covering the whole country. Whoa. Adams of Alabama, Anniston, okay. Been to Anniston. Wysell, Arkansas. Near Austin, okay. Keeping Arizona. Vernon, Arizona, 6,900-foot elevation off grid. Hey, all right, Keith. And I thank you for returning. I gave Keith a contributor. He was in a hard spot. And I sent him a little money, and he sent it back to me, a little bit added back into it. So salute to Keith in Arizona for that. Appreciate that. All right, Susan Peters is Central Indiana, Central Illinois for Daniel Heil. Hello, Floridian, says the unknowns. Sass Fresh Red. Well, I got a 7:30 appointment in the morning. Well, all right. Good night to you. And thank you for everything there. That was awesome, Sass Fresh Red. You really entertained me tonight. That's quite a surprise. And we'll go out with a beard light tonight. So, Central Illinois. Good night. All right. So, you're in Central? Yeah, okay. Gabby, look me up Facebook with a line in the circle. Be in Florida for winter in a week. Okay, Wysell, you maybe should have already been down there. Whoop. Taking the top American Patriot SC says taking out the top commanders during the funeral of other top commanders. Classic gangster mafia style tactics. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is, isn't it? Jason, thank you for asking for the thumbs up. Granny's in Utah, New Day's Northern Maine. Let's see. Thought it was kudzu and do a lot. Hey, kudzu, you can eat everything except the woody parts of kudzu. Cass County, Minnesota. All right. Minnesota is your ex-governor used to say. All righty. Let's see. 1 hour northwest of Birmingham. All right, Kathy Pittman, you're probably west of me then, because I'm a little over. Well, I may be almost an hour and a half from Birmingham, maybe 2 hours north of Birmingham. So, That puts you close to Jasper, maybe, or maybe up toward Double Springs. Anyway, let's see. Decatur, Danny Hall. Hey, you're a neighbor, Danny. If it's Decatur, Alabama, there's a lot of Decaturs around. We're south of Springfield, says Sassafras Red. Okay. You see Homer Simpson running around? 37 degrees in New Hampshire. Wow, New Hampshire's in the house. Hey, Stuart. American Patient. Yes, I thought that was clever. Let's see. I can't disagree with that. Oh, I just lost that comment. Scroll so fast. There you go. Ackworth, Georgia. Hey, Doc Holliday. Wyoming, and it's colder than Mary's underwear. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to move upstate, maybe around Avon Park. Oh, Mary Greeley's in the house? We have Mary Greeley in the house. Let me scroll back up. We have Mary Greeley in the house. Mary Greeley has come in and chat before. She's been here. We have had Mary Greeley in the house. I don't see that, but she came in under Mary Greeley. Been to Haleyville. Okay. I know where Haleyville's at. Been there myself. Orlando. You know Orlando. Why they call it pop and mini soda. Oh, and mini soda. That's funny. Stray kitten. Winfield, west of Jasper. Okay. Jasper area. Elkton, Oregon. We got an Elkton just north of me here up in Tennessee, just across the state line. Elkton, Tennessee. Used to go through there a lot of times. It's just right above Ardmore. We better fix this country. I don't want to die in Texas on last stand. You got that right. That's why I did that Civil War video, guys. I did last night. We can do it, but we got to work on it. Thank you all for visiting us and having a friendly community. Amen, Arnold. We all need to keep our friendship strong, to have a warm atmosphere that has love for each other and all over. Amen to that. Been to Talladega, Oxford, and White Plains. Okay. I did a video actually from Plains, Georgia. Showed a picture of the big peanut with a big smile on it. Where are you? Will you be there 6 weeks? Is what he told me. I'm in Alabama right now, but I'm heading back probably in about a month, 5 weeks or something to Snowflake, Arizona. But I may have to make another trip to Houston in a few days if I get my transmission fixed. But I got to work. I got to wait till this cold snap goes through because I don't want to lose pipes here. Alrighty. All right, folks. Well, you made me feel good tonight, everybody. These gifts from Sassafras Red were so beautiful. I'll turn off the light here so the beard light has more effect. All right. So here we go, guys. We're going to end with a beard light tonight. Y'all always loved that in the past. I just didn't have a light that flashed right. I had one that flashed low frequency. It just didn't have the same effect. Not the same effect. So let me get this thing centered and find the button here. Activate it. Let's see here. We'll also be in Melbourne, Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Ryan Keith, 19 degrees outside, 78 inside. Well, your wood stove is rocking tonight. That's hot inside. Hope when I get mine set up my little cabin, I can get it rocking like that too. So, all right, folks, let me get this light back up here under my chin. Find the button. There it is. All righty, folks. So, guys, hey, I want to thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way out, please. Please, we really need it to help with the algorithms. And to one and all, a good night, and ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. I am the Christmas tree. All righty, folks. With that, I'm going to say again, thank you for watching. Salute to one and all of you, super chatters and all, and Sassafras Red. Wow, thank you for these great gifts. They've been awesome. Had a good time tonight. We are family, guys. Remember, no driving. Remember, everyone, as light dispels dark, and we're in the dark now. So let's get the light going. This is my fancy light remote control, high-tech remote control. My stage lights. So as light dispels dark, love dispels hate. Problem in our world is we have too much hatred. So go out and shine your, put tinsel in the beard. You guys are funny. Go out and shine your love light in the world. And let's try to avert all these bad things they're trying to throw at us. Just because they want us in the Civil War, don't mean we got to be in one. Don't mean we got to have one. We don't need that. We got enough trouble in the world today without pulling us into that. Techno Dragon tribe. There you is, Dragon. So, the one and all, thank you so much. And with that, I want to say,